Last week, we told you about University of Arkansas's plans to clear a homeless encampment along 19th Street. That move has generated a lot of concern and conversation among city leaders and advocates for the unhoused. As 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi shows us, all occupants have been told to leave the encampment by the end of today.
I'm told around 20 people still remain at this encampment here in Fayetteville, and groups are now working to help find solutions not only for those being forced to move, but for the growing homelessness issue in the city.
We need help. Don't just throw us out to the streets.
Jennifer Clements says she's been living at the 19th Street encampment, land owned by the University of Arkansas, for some time. She says finding a housing solution in the city has not been easy.
We're all from here, and we're all on disability, and we're all being denied housing or low-income housing. They're supposed to be low income, but when they're running our backgrounds, they're turning us away.
This letter from the University of Arkansas set a Monday deadline for those staying here to leave. Photos show University and Fayetteville police on scene Monday, issuing warnings to residents, urging them to leave and take their belongings.
If there are any remaining individuals, we've been encouraging them to try to relocate, but obviously we're still giving them information too as to the local resources that they can utilize.
University of Arkansas spokesperson John Thomas says the site has become a public safety concern.
Over the last few months, there have been frequent reports of criminal activity in that area, specifically that our UAPD officers have had to respond to. We're kind of at the tipping point now where it's become a problem just because it is so close to those trails that are right there next to the 19th Street property, as well as some residential areas as well.
Yannick Dwyer with Fayetteville's Forgotten, a grassroots organization addressing homelessness, says they're focused on finding long-term solutions. He says at the very least, local agencies need to come together to identify a place for people to go.
Despite our constant pleading, there is no other area that is even generally known in the homeless community that is safe. We've even moved people in the past few days to some areas, and they have within the past few days immediately been told by the police, yeah, you have a week to get out of here or we'll arrest you.
Becky Sisson, CEO of Seven Hills Homeless Center, the largest operating day center in the city, says the center has been helping people at the encampment for months. She says solutions to homelessness need to be proactive and not reactive.
Homelessness is just a symptom. We're really struggling with services that aren't being provided for mental illness and addiction and for trauma. I mean, a lot of times it's just where people end up, but there are a lot of things that get into that place. And so that has to be a part of the conversation moving forward. The resources have to be more than just housing.
The university tells me that in the coming days and weeks, officers will be patrolling the area to make sure that people are complying with the encampment closure notice. In Fayetteville, covering News Where You Live, Jacob Luthi, 5 News.
We just learned of the mayor's proposals following a meeting last night on homelessness and housing. In response, says he hopes to add a city chief housing officer, appoint a task force to address homelessness, and then call on leaders in the area, cities and towns, to establish a coordinated response to housing instability. We'll, of course, have more information about those proposals on our website a bit later tonight on 5newsonline.com. We're also getting a look at new video released by the Arkansas Department of Correction showing inmate Grant Harden being taken to the Supermax Varner prison in South Central Arkansas. He was taken back into custody late last week after nearly 2 weeks on the run. Harden escaped from the Calico Rock prison in North Central Arkansas. He is serving a sentence after he was convicted of murder and rape, both crimes happening in Benton County. He's also now facing new charges for the escape in Izard County, Arkansas. Tonight also marks 30 years since the disappearance of Morgan Nick. And tonight on 5 Plus, we're going to look back on that entire case, all the way up to an update just last year in the search for a suspect. The 6-year-old was last seen at an Alma ballpark on this day in 1995. Since then, the FBI, local police, and Morgan's family have been looking for answers. Morgan's mother, Colleen, and the organization she founded in her honor, the Morgan Nick Foundation, have also been working to help find hundreds of other missing children. Our hour-long special, by the way, looking at the 3 decades-long investigation, airs tonight at 7:30 on our free 5 News Plus streaming app. We can tell you how to download 5 News Plus for your TV and watch for free by just texting the word plus to the number on your screen, 785-5000. A World War II soldier from Gravett has finally returned home more than 80 years after he was killed during the D-Day invasion. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer joining us now live in Gravett as the community gathers to pay tribute. What a story, Lauren.
Private Roger Dean Andrews was laid to rest today after his remains were identified 80 years after his death. His homecoming was long awaited and emotional. There was law enforcement officers, veterans, and even just community members all gathering here, just wanting to say thank you to him. Andrews was just 19 years old when he was killed in action during the D-Day invasion of Normandy on June 6, 1944. For decades, his remains went unidentified, but in 2024, new technology finally confirmed his identity. This afternoon, a motor escort led by the Benton County Sheriff's Office, military honors, and the Patriot Guard brought Andrews' remains to be buried in Gravett. Private Andrews' nephew, Russ Yates, says the amount of people who came out who didn't have any connection to his uncle was special.
That was emotional. I didn't really expect this kind of turnout, to be honest with you, and we live in a great country. Come on, this is America at its finest.
Russ tells me he had a lot of options where he could bury his uncle, but he said here in Gravett, right next to his uncle's parents, he thought that was the absolute right choice. Live in Gravett, covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.